right, this is the moment where you can shoot your questions to the Servoy panel. Just raise your hand so we can walk towards you, so you can speak in the microphone. So, who has questions for any of the Servoy developers or CEO here?
Yeah, okay.
So we had a long time of nice webinars of Sean. Where did they go?
Yeah. If you send me a list of subjects, then we'll start. But I'm not kidding. We will start again. But I think with titanium and a lot of other stuff, and we kind of a little bit ran out of subjects. I was talking to Sean that we want to revamp a couple of those because they are outdated. And I was also talking to Scott to see because he redid Servoy University to see whether he might want to host those. Because they're now on YouTube a little bit hidden also. So we're working on that. And send me or Johan or Rene subjects you are interested in, and we will restart those.
Good question. Good question. Any more questions?
What about for example, Google Chat component going to Titanium, or it's not going?
Google Chat component?
Yeah, it is.
No.
Use the mic.
Google Charts.
Google Chats.
Yeah, I think we have two charts, right? And one we ported, and the other one we didn't. And the other one we didn't. It's deprecated, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are of course on how's it called? Chat Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Chat Yes. We had Google Charts is kind of dropped because I think also even the NG Client component didn't get for years anymore, something like that.
I've got one here.
In the meantime, we are able to design beautiful layouts with Servoy, but your own Servoy admin page is still like...
That's work in progress. Yeah, that's work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah, the backend is we already have kind of hidden away a complete REST API, which I didn't mention now. And on top of that, we want to build a complete new UI.
That's the client manager plugin.
Client manager plugin is not a UI. No, but it has way more.
It's going to use ROAR.
I asked the same question 5 years ago, and it was then work in progress.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, I think even in Servoy Cloud, the admin page is kind of not used, right? It's all hidden away. So you can even say that Servoy Cloud is already a port of the admin page.
See? Yeah.
Now the problem is a little bit, if you have one admin page and you have 5 instances running, which one do you go to? And if you press save, where does it save?
Well, I'm happy with Servoy Cloud we kill the admin page, but then at least come up with something else.
Oh, that's...
But what are you missing then? Because most of the admin page is in source.
Well, I think we need Jean. Where's Jean? Jean had like 12 examples why we need the admin page, including, but some bits are getting now into cloud, so that's good news. And because hopefully with the one day we don't need it, we can just do all the debugging, all the logs. But now some logs are there, some logs are not there. Some data you cannot see other than on admin page. But I would love to get rid of admin page.
Okay, then kill the admin page.
Consider it done. Any more questions?
When will all the services and all the things in the package manager work correctly in Ting? Because not everything, like for example, the idle web service.
Yeah, it's already ported.
Okay.
Yeah, the most things are ported. It could be that some are skipped through, but I think, especially when we will do the 09 release, and I will go over all the one, because idle plugin is now already ported. I think there are a few more, like Canvas, I think, that's also not done. So yeah, there were a few more obscure plugins that we didn't do. Problem is a little bit, now I'm complaining a little bit to the rest of the team. There were a lot of stuff built by PNS, and suddenly R&D needs to do everything. So we forgot a little bit of certain stuff because we did Bootstrap, Servo Extra, a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff are now still needed to be done. Some are done. I think most are now done with 09 release. It could be that I forgot some because with Google Maps is something that we don't do. That's for sure. But I think most are now done.
But I mean, how are we supposed to know? I mean, you as Servoy want us as developers to use the very latest version. So you're saying all of you should be developing with Ting. We start developing with Ting and start using the plugins and the services, and then they're not working. But we think it's us because something suddenly doesn't work. Like I had it with the, the signature component, that wasn't working correctly in Ting. And I spent hours and hours trying to debug it, but it was because you guys hadn't.
Yeah, but most of the time, especially component, idle is a little bit because there's a component you should immediately see, it's not there at all. Because you
but it was there.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it wasn't understanding the, on start and on end. It wasn't, they weren't working correctly. But
that sounds like a component that is half ported to me. Because if you have a component,
Okay, but the frustration is for us as developers is that we're spending hours trying to debug stuff and we think it's our fault because we assume...
No, don't do that. Just give me the fault. Just blame me.
We assume that Servoy is perfect and every bit of code that you release is perfect and there are no bugs in it. So obviously it's our fault, but it isn't. It's your fault. So,
but that's a weird thing from the component because signature is, again, one component we didn't really know as R&D team, by the way. So we took over lots of them now. And tomorrow I talk why that is because it's a little bit more complex to create those components. But the thing is, if you did see something, that's a little bit weird because normally if the component is not ported, you don't see anything because it's not there at all. It's just, I think we just display an error component, something like that. So, and then it's very obvious, it's not ported, right? But if you did see something and you could even write it in something, then you yes, then it's something that's what I would do. But I always do it: go to GitHub, look at the committer, and then blame the committer.
But I hope you understand the frustration is that we assume that you're asking us to create stuff in Ting and not everything that you have put within the Servoy developer.
Yeah, that was ongoing stuff for a lot of services and components that we need to port. That was a lot of work, and that is for sure.
Right. I mean, maybe there can be something that sort of shows in the package manager doesn't work in NG2 or anything.
That would be nice, but the problem is that I hope that now almost nothing is that we can't market anymore because everything works now.
Hope is a great thing.
Yeah.
Next question. Yeah.
Yes. Coming back to the admin page, is it possible to config in Tomcat to have the admin page only accessible from a local host?
Yeah, I think that should be doable, right?
I would very much like to know how.
You can't still log out from the admin page. If you've done it on a computer at the customer, you can't log out. Security.
Yeah, but the problem is a little bit, there is no such thing because it's purely the browser that does that.
Yeah.
Because it's basic authentication.
Yes.
It's
so it needs another authentication.
It's basic authentication because of that, and then there's just a header in the browser that the browser remembers and always sends. That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but the trouble is if you are at a customer on the computer there and you log in the Servoy admin page, you can't leave it behind because they can access the admin page.
Oh, you need to close the tab, yeah. Close the browser. Yeah. No. It doesn't remember the basic. It's not a special.
It does remember.
It does remember on that instance.
Yeah.
If you close the browser, it is gone.
Yeah, the whole browser. Oh, yeah.
Not just the tab, the browser.
I want to log out, but.
But if you work without a reverse proxy and you expose the NG client to the internet, you can enter the admin page login.
Yeah, I think so. I wonder if Tomcat has because. But it's not the context. That's the thing. It's in something inside the context. I'm not sure how Tomcat works exactly. If you can say this link should be only local host. I think that should be possible in the access rules, but I'm not 100% sure because you can do it per application or per context for sure. But I'm not 100% sure if you can, for a page, you can do that. But I think it should be possible. But at least, yeah, we can build it in ourselves if needed. That's always possible.
Please don't.
I would like to.
Servoy admin. How am I supposed to hear now?
If you do that, I can't
it's not
now
default
check my
and it's not
client's
always
admin
on.
page. Yeah, no, but
But you can do a VPN connection to your server.
No, but that is. You don't want to configure that. You set a password and
Yeah, I agree.
A login password and things like that, but you need to be able to access it. Like now, I can sort out my client servers if there's a problem, but I can't do that if it's local host only.
No, but I don't say it will be default.
No. Okay.
Maybe now, but to just annoy you.
Option. An option.
Okay, yeah. But what's the status of the Outlook integration in Team? Because we're using it in NG very successfully, and just wonder how that's moving.
That's interesting because I even don't know that Outlook. Is that a module? What is that? Who built that?
Outlook?
Yeah, it's something you built at some point in the past, which allows us to run Servoy inside our native Outlook.
Is that Office 365?
Yeah, Office 365, yeah.
But that's a module, right?
It's a Servoy component. So it's a service.
Yeah. Then that always what I do there. Go to the GitHub. Go to that thing.
Okay.
Check the committer. And that's Paolo very likely.
Okay.
The version they had there wasn't even finished.
No, I don't think so.
No.
What you have working is that component finished.
Okay, maybe we should give it back to you and get it updated.
I don't know.
So we made. Yeah, we made it with a webinar together, I think, to show the concept. Because it was a result of a workshop we did together in Microsoft. So we gave it as a concept. So it's kind of, is it part of the product, yes or no? But yeah, talk to us and we'll help you.
It's an extremely useful...
I get that. Isn't Livon using that? Yeah.
Yes.
So Mark is using the same thing. You guys are not on Titanium, are you? Yeah? No. But yeah, talk to us and we'll help you.
The package manager was something that Servoy promoted highly as a way that they could release package fixes without having to wait for a Servoy release to fix bugs. What we're finding more and more now, though, is that we're only getting package updates with the Servoy release.
Oh, that's the other way around. You get package updates with a Servoy release, that's correct. But you get also in between releases way more. I just did yesterday a booster component fix, even for 03.
Very few.
Yeah, but if there are fixes that you need, especially if you really need a fix for this for a specific release, and that's an LTS or a current stable release, just ping me, hey, I really want that. I'm fine. I don't care too much.
Okay.
But now, yeah, it's a little bit in the release plan because we're releasing every 4 months, right? Or 3 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months. So it's already in a quick stuff. But yeah, that I just released, I think yesterday or even for 03 a booster component release. So we will do that. And yeah, I'm not always know is it extremely pressing for somebody to really have that bug fixed now. Yeah.
Well, one case in example is that we reported a bug. We fixed it ourselves. We pushed a pull request, and it was 9 months before Servoy published it.
Yeah, that's a question. Then I wonder where that pull request ended up in, or where that was really made, because that's an SVIX thing or not. That's a little bit tricky sometimes.
I think we did go through it, and anything that was reported as a bug on the extensions was being allocated to Patrick, I think, automatically, and nothing was being done with it.
Yeah. Back then, and then I said, hey, don't do that anymore. Allocate it all to me, because then, yeah, exactly. Because then I go to because I don't know if there is assigned to a person, then I think, yeah, he will work on it, right? So, yeah. But we can release packages, and we do it, but yeah, we don't do it all the time. It's more like we have a release candidate and it follows it, and we especially now met titanium, we need to have, for example, in 09, we really need to have all the packages because there is a big angular upgrade, and then every component needs to go. So we need a lot more releases there. Anyway, even if there's almost no other fix in it. But yeah, and because of that, yeah, it's more like, oh yeah, it's in a 3 thing also. But it doesn't need to be, and it is not always the case.
Any more questions?
Sorry, a bit of a niche theme, but we're using the NG desktop client. Is this still supported? And is this mainline support?
Yeah, it's mainline support. Yeah, it's fully worked on.
I had some problems which seem.
No, it should be pretty much picked up because even NG desktop, if you're really looking at it, it's getting really regular updates. For 06 we did an update.
Yeah,
and I guess if you are the guy that said but with the link clicks and external open URLs, thank you for all the problems.
Yeah, I mean, security.logout working is also.
Yeah, that's all fake.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Thanks.
Thank you.
I need some.
Yeah, but now it's definitely we pick it constantly up.
Okay. Then there's another thing on that front end. It's Electron, right?
Yeah.
I assume there's some fixes for Electron because there was a quite important security update.
We are also.
Will there be updates for that?
We are also constantly updating Electron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will this be retroactively, or can I just use the current?
Yeah.
3.9?
Now we're getting into a very interesting version scheme. Because we have NG Desktop, this is a version. We have the plugins that are versioned. And we have Servoy thing that is a version. And now we are getting into very nice, oh, wait a second. That depends on that one depends on that one. But yeah, not always. And they are moving targets. It's tricky.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but normally it's a bit hard to get there. To sometimes we need to do a release for a certain release. Okay, that is now tied to this release because you kind of want to. The plugins are tied to that release because we change something in NG Desktop code, and because of that the plugin uses that. Then the plugins kind of depend on that version.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then we need to say, okay, yeah, but those plugins are kind of tied to the Servo version also, and then everything goes up. But that's not always needed. It's because of the 3 versions that are all sliding windows.
Yeah, no,
it's hard. Depend on something.
And it's even harder for us because sometimes our customers don't automatically update the NG Desktop client, which means they say it doesn't work anymore. And
yeah, I agree. That is very tricky because of especially because of the bridge. If you update your utils, for NG utils or NG Desktop UI or the and that one really needs a newer desktop version because code API wise it's belonging now to each other. Yeah, that is tricky. I couldn't use tricky. That's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Because it's difficult. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because
because of all
I would do it.
Yeah, the nice way was if you could always be just on the kind of the latest release of all of them. But yeah, that's a big problem if they don't update their thing. Yeah, then maybe I'm not sure if we can somehow get into a state that we can pop up a message from. Wait a second.
I've built something like that.
Okay.
On the login, I check which is the expected NG Desktop, what I see here.
Yeah, that is very smart to do. Because maybe we could build it in ourselves somehow, but to see it, but to get into that, wait a second, you need to update because we already get from the server pushed a newer version than you expect.
Oh, while being at that, is there an option to localize the electron.update message that pops up on the right? If I start Electron and I've uploaded a new update version, I get a message, but it's not localized.
I think that should be possible, but I wonder where we can push that then. I guess the entity desktop builder needs to push that message. We need to ask that. So we can of course do it, but I think right now not, because there is no solution yet when you're starting up, right? So messages coming from the server we can't really depend on, so it must be included in the thing. And maybe we can just add a few messages for like English, German, Dutch, French. Yeah, but then the message and then have a few messages.
At the moment, it's something even.
I think at the moment it's kind of a little bit hard coded yet to English.
Electron.update. What?
Yeah.
In English would be enough at the moment. I would go for German.
Yeah. No, but it's a bit weird that it says Electron. I want to know where it comes from, because I would say we could call NG Desktop or something like that, or NG Desktop and then your app name, right? Yeah. And we can have a look at it. Maybe make a case for that.
Okay, thanks. I think there is a case.
Really? Oh. Point me to the case then.
In the current system, the styling is done with less files, and they are all compiled within the war generation process into a single CSS file. The compiler that's uses a really old version of the less standard. Is there any reason why you couldn't just push the CSS and less files as is out to the application and let the browser deal with it?
Now, the browser doesn't deal with less. Then you need to have a compiler in the browser. The browser doesn't deal with less. Browser can't have less.
But we build our components with less styling files, and the browser deals with it no problem at all.
No, I don't think there's part. Yeah, but titanium?
Yeah.
Yeah, titanium. Do you know what the Angular does when you compile the components? It compiles all the less files.
But when you debug it, it brings the original source.
That's because of your source mapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you not then update to a newer, less compiler with?
No, the better is which are not supported, because we had previously a less compiler that was really but it was very slow, and we now have a full Java made one that's JLSC, and just make a case for some stuff that doesn't work, because it's pretty easy for me, because I made patches for the project also to upgrade the standard and to just dump in more stuff and support more stuff, because that one is in a split second it has it compiled. And if I use, for example, a JLSC, or let's say the JavaScript implementation, and let it run, it took minutes sometimes. It's for bigger stuff. It was horribly slow. So yeah, it's better than to say, okay, this and this is not supported. Because I did hear now and then, especially Paolo, and they came up with stuff. Hey, that is not supported. That's not supported. I don't think there is a lot of development in less. If I see it, does less really have a lot of versions in the latest years?
I don't know about in the latest years, but the current compiler only supports version 2 point something of the spec, and it was already on, I think, 4.1.
Yeah, but I wonder what you really missed then. But just let me know.
I'll make cases if for the specific things that we're...
Yeah, but what we need to have, because that's better. Because we already have a different less compiler there, but that was so slow.
The way we've got around it currently is we've actually moved the less into the component and...
Let Angular do it. Yeah.
And let Angular do it, and changed our components to use view encapsulation none, so that less can then be overridden in the application if needed.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to have an offline client, potentially on several platforms?
No.
There's no plans. And the reason is because the demand is getting lower. We get it sometimes.
Mike?
Yeah.
No, the demand we were asking maybe 5 years ago, it was more and more demand. We get it less and less. We build drivers, apps and stuff like that online with NG Mobile. Yeah, it's online clients, so the demand is getting less. In Germany, I know the coverage is not that good. But let's hope it's getting better. We hope for that. Oh, but hope is not a strategy, sorry.
It's not only German, it's also indoors.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Could run an app server on Android.
No, actually, we were at the prospective client last, what was that, Peter? Wednesday? And the first thing we asked them, these are guys that have a yard where they build Euro pallets. And the first thing we asked them is, do you have Wi-Fi everywhere? So, and they said yes.
When do we get a proper less editor?
That is already a little bit looked at. There's a case for that. And but the problem is the case is a little bit ongoing because it's quite tricky, hard.
So there's no deadline.
No, but it's for many features. It's just we target features and we try to get money as much in as possible in a release. But yeah, sometimes it skips a release, and that's. Yeah, a lot of stuff, other stuff can work on, can come around and do stuff like AI is at the moment. A lot of stuff. The guy that works on that is working on the AI now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
No, again.
Sorry, it possibly to do with the less stuff, and I think that Steve said last night that 09 kind of flattens all the CSS in developer, but sometimes it's very difficult when you put in a style class of something, but then when it runs, something that you've defined gets overridden by something else, and it's very difficult to know where in the hierarchy of the different style sheets and things that something is being overridden. Would there be a way within developer to be able to see, what actually
what the loading order
is? Yeah, the loading order.
Yeah, the loading order is kind of defined, but I don't see a way that we can really say we can document it, but the loading order is because we have it's really loaded in a certain order whereby Angular, the components go first, and then I think our CSS, the solution CSS, is kind of the last. So that kind of overrides everything. But if you have their stuff in order again, yeah, that's something that is up to you because you define the solution CSS. Because I think our solution should be the last. That should be able to override everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and if you then in that file itself you have all the problems, yeah, that's something that you definitely need to fix yourself. Okay. I am afraid.
One thing I have noticed is if you have multiple classes on a component, the order that you've defined the classes in developer is not the order that they appear.
But that also doesn't matter. That also doesn't matter one bit. The order that you have in the class attribute of a DOM element has no meaning whatsoever.
But how if you've got three classes and three of them define three different colors,
yeah,
how do you know which one takes precedence?
That does the browser, which class it loads the last.
But is that not the order that they specified?
No, it has no meaning. And that's not Servoy, that's just the browser. It has no meaning in what order you have it there.
Okay.
It's purely the loading order in the browser that dictates which one it picks up. That's why that's what I just asked. The loading order of all the CSS is very important because that's what dictates what is the final thing. I would love, because I first thought that's most logical, right? The order in the classes. Follow that. No.
Okay.
No. That some smart guys didn't think about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Slowest is the
in the HTML. In the head. So what is in the head? Yeah, of course, if somebody loads later, but that doesn't matter. I think it hooks it in. But in the end, for us, a lot of is one or two calls maybe now, because Angular crunches everything together, and then we have a few of ours.
Got a question. In the totally forget. Yeah, Servoy question. No, I still got some projects that rely on licenses, and since we can easily have multiple servers right now with RabbitMQ, it would be nice that we could have a total count on the number of clients, but that is kind of hard. Client manager will only give you the count of that particular server.
API.
Server Cloud.
Yeah, but not everything is suitable for Server Cloud. And I know.
No, but what you kind of want is kind of an Uber admin page that talks to all the servers.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's Server Cloud. I hear it from very good source.
And not the API.
Yeah, the thing is, you can always query it yourself if you want to.
I know Paolo has a branch somewhere in your GitHub on.
Yeah, but you want to have the client card. You could even, if you have integrations into YMX, you can ask all the YMX servers, ask for the client card, and on your screen you add them all together. Mm-hmm. Because it's also a managed beam.
It used to be in a table as well.
Table?
In a repository table.
No.
Yeah.
The active thing?
Yeah. As soon as the user logs in, there was a row in the...
And also logs out again.
Yeah.
Or killed otherwise. But then we come to the problem is that for those kind of the deployments, you have different repository table maybe, because it may be alles in mem nowadays, that kind of stuff. So that's even trickier to, hard.
Difficult.
Yeah, but for now it's really query yourself. And YMX is maybe a good idea because then you can also have a monitoring system on all of them. And you can get to all the servers and calculate and just sum it up.
Last question.
Very last question.
Yeah. Ha! We don't have a last question. Yeah. If you want. Alright.
Oh, then I have a question. Right?
Yeah. Johan has a question. Good.
So, because we are planning something, and I wonder how that hits it here.
Oh. One more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Thing is, we have Smart Client, we have Web Client, we have NG, and we have Titanium. And I am kind of want to drop Smart, Web, and NG after 03 next year. And that means it's gone. Because then I remove all the code and I can also then easily, for example, upgrade to Tomcat 10, which is currently very tricky, difficult. Because Tomcat 10 changes completely all the packages and that kind of stuff. And we need to, if we move to that, we need to drop a lot of all the older stuff that we use. So that means in 03, that will be an LTS release, so it will be supported for 2 more years. So Smart Client, the Web Client will run on that release supported for 2 more years, but 06 could just say everything gone and we focus on it and then we clean up a lot of old baggage that we still have. So I wonder how that, you don't have to tell me right now how you feel, maybe sleep on it, but that is a little bit of planning that we now have to get rid of a lot of older stuff. And of course, it's an LTS release. So do remember it's 2014. It's 2026 is you have a support release for until 2026. So
where and how can we respond after this?
Yeah,
where and
that's
how?
a good one.
Yeah. It's just it's not set in stone yet, but I rather have it to say are going to do that, because in the end we dragging along and there's a lot of code and there's always security fixes, because I got always stuff from, hey, there are older YARs and I upgrade as many YARs as possible constantly, but some are a little bit baggage that we drag along and those even don't have new releases and are ready from 2010 or 2012, that kind of stuff. So I rather want to move forward. But moving forward just means for us that we are going to drop stuff. And drop Smart Clients, Smart Client Web, And G also, because also there, AngularJS is slowly going away completely and not really maintained anymore there. So also there we have a little bit more problematic to constantly be able to support it. So that was something that I want to mention. And
who is using still Smart Client actively? That's web client, so the old web client. Okay.
And who's in conversion?
Yeah, everyone.
Now I kind of want to see all the hands that
The conversion to what?
Titanium.
Titanium, not
Yeah, but-
NG.
No, it's really titanium. Because in NG is already, if I get cases, then I say, okay, we already are in slow mode there. So we are not going to constantly fix there. Of course, security stuff we will fix. And we will also fix that for the coming 2.5 years. What do we have there for that kind of stuff? That's for sure.
Rafi?
That was the last question.
No.
So in answer to your question,
oh yeah,
I mean, can you offer us some tools or easy ways of helping to migrate? I know someone's doing a talk on. Yeah. Okay. Well, not preempting whatever Sanika is going to talk about, but if we have easy ways of migrating, for example, something that will go through our layouts, our forms, and say these have Servoy default components.
Oh, that doesn't matter. So the default component keep working, except a few.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's mostly table and list view. But all the default components like fields, labels, button, the calendar fields all work.
No, I understand that, but obviously they'll be faster if they're pure ting.
No. Doesn't matter. It's just that we don't support anymore by giving it new features, but they are completely. It doesn't matter if you take speed-wise, if you take the text field of the default component or the text box of Bootstrap. Doesn't really matter.
Oh.
You won't notice it. But the problem is text box has more features.
Right, but
styling-wise and that kind of stuff.
Right. Oh, okay. Because I'm sure at some point in one of the Servoy somethings, we were led to believe that Servoy default components would slow things down, and you were better off updating to the.
No.
I think there was.
Maybe they talk about table view, but not the default component set that you see in your palette. No. You can still keep using them, and we will ship those. I don't care because they are there and they are ported and they are working, and we almost don't need any time on it anyway.
Okay. I mean, but it would be nice, I think.
But the biggest problem for you is, I think, table views and list views.
Yeah, probably. But, oh, okay. Arjo says tab panels don't work.
Tab panels work.
Okay, but I mean, maybe it might be nice to have some kind of color coding on the form editors to show more visually what types of forms they are. Because when you create a new form, you can say it's abstract, it's CSS style, it's responsive, but there's no visual indication easily to see afterwards what type of form it is when you then go into it.
Yeah,
and it'd be nice to be able to say, you know what, that's a rubbishy old style form. I'm going to make it a responsive form, that kind of thing. So if there was some nice way.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make a cake?
Okay.
Yeah. Good question.
What happened to?
Okay, really the last question.
On Servo World, Paolo pitched an idea by you could actually drag element or components onto your form, but that it could also contain the different star classes that were created for that. So that immediately you.
Is that variant? That's working.
It's in there. All right. Yeah.
It's already in for a few releases.
I'm not working on the latest one.
21 something.
No.
Variants.
It's a variant.
Okay.
Maybe just a follow up to that. Is variants available on all formats? Because I thought I read somewhere it was only on Bootstrap.
Yeah, I think but we can have more. But I think there is something that needs to be some kind of in the spec file we need to define a category or something like that. Something like that.
It's
but tricky that we need to add a few more. But yeah, in the end, a variant is nothing more than a bunch of classes, so we could potentially do it on all. That doesn't really matter. But yeah, to categorize it nicely, it's
tricky.
To visualize it better. Yeah, tricky.
Okay, that was the last question. If there are more questions, I believe Ron and Johan are going to dinner, so have dinner with them. Okay, we survived the first day of ServoyCamp 7. Thank you very much. Yeah.